What is going on, everybody? This is Brandon.
This is Bryce.
I'm Dan.
Welcome back to Comixkings. Welcome back to Weekly Wrap. And we have a special show for you guys today. It is the Hellfire Gala. We're going to kick things off by kind of talking about what inspired our outfits and why we went the way we did, who designed our fits. I will go first. My fit was designed strictly for Polaris, as this is the outfit that she said, Brandon, I want you to pick this. And it was also designed by none other than Russell Dodderman. Okay, so thank you so much for the inspiration. I'm here. I got the pink shirt on, the Star of David, because I'm Jewish. Kate would be very proud of me. And the sunglasses, of course, the DJ headphones go a long way. And the suit jacket. That's what we're going with today. Bryce, talk about your outfit today, sir.
Well, my fit was kind of designed by just like a mixture of John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd and the Blues Brothers mixed with just my own personal flair. And, you said to pick something that was unapologetically me, and that's what I went with, crooked sunglasses and all.
There we go. 100%. And Bryce, who is your date tonight?
Who is my date tonight? Well, what do you mean, like Xmen date?
Yeah, who's your date to the gala, bro?
Who you think? My Southern Belle herself, Rogue.
The hillbilly comics queen. Rogue herself. And Dan. We got Dan coming in sharp today as well.
Well, I went for the long night at the office look and maybe going out to Chili's with Steve Carell, Michael Scott afterward and having a couple of drinks. My date for the prom gala would be Kate Pride.
My Jewish wifey. Princess. His wifey. Oh, Lord. We're going there. All right.
And we switched sunglasses.
We all got our shades on. Let's say hello to everyone attending the gala today. Make sure if you guys are catching the replay, subscribe to the channel if you like what you're seeing. Thank you so much. If you are in the live chat, you can catch us live every Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 Pacific. So you guys can never miss a live show. Join the discussion of all the books we're going to talk about, because this is also a review show. It's just we're here talking about the gala because that's what we're here for. We got John in the chat. Does HK stand for Cohen? But he did have a question earlier. That was just hilarious. Is a Borat thong considered appropriate attire for the gala? Asking for a friend. I don't know. I think going with the same outfit the Super Bowl streaker went with is perfectly acceptable.
Only if you bring your own hot tub.
Storm would be very proud of you, John, as she would be wearing the same thing if this were the Bronze Age. We got Sheena in here, the hip Krakoan wifey 420. That's exactly what it stands for.
That's exactly what it stands for.
It stands for Hello Kitty. Well, you are a one hip Krakoan in my book. We got Rudy. What's going on, buddy?
What's going on, man?
What is going on? If anybody is in the chat and you read a book this week that you want to talk about,
what is up, mi gente?
Drop it down below. Let's get this show on the road. We got Star Wars War of the Bounty Hunters, because that is a thing. That's a thing, you guys. Which is written by Charles Soule and Luke Ross. So we're gonna start the show by talking about some Star Wars, get it out of the way. So the whole premise to the War of the Bounty Hunters is Han Solo got stolen and is being auctioned off by the Hutts, and Boba Fett now has a bounty on him because he lost the bounty that he was supposed to have in the first place. So we're dealing with that, and we're dealing with all the bounty hunters trying to come after him. So the preludes, which had the Alpha bounty hunters, and the really crappy book we talked about last time, Dr. Aphra, all playing a role in this. But
it wasn't that bad. The book was not that bad.
Compared to, like, if you read Darth Vader first and went to that, you were like,
yep.
Oh, no, it was a definite drop-off.
Yeah.
I enjoyed Aphra more than bounty hunters.
Right.
And
Vader was the thing, but
yeah.
I'm just talking about what pertains to this issue.
Yeah.
Really. So Boba Fett the whole thing is Boba Fett's trying to figure out who took him, and he's asking around because that's what bounty hunters does. He does in a very Boba Fett-esque way where he's just not really talking, but more attacking. And we have this shadowed figure, this shadowed person who is auctioning him off to the Hutts and really trying to bring out the Crimson Dawn, bring them back into power, because we are dealing with that as well. And all the other bounty hunters are on alert that there's a bounty for Boba Fett. And so we got Zukas and Forlom, which we saw at the end of the Bounty Hunters, being on Narshada and attacking him. However, Boba Fett wins and takes Forlom's head for information. And that leads him to go back to Tatooine because Jabba put the bounty out on him. So Boba Fett blows the place up, almost puts Jabba's on fire, no pun intended. And Jabba the Hutt, she's sitting there on a ship with the other Hutts, talking about the way that that he's going to get Solo, which is pretty cool. And we figure out who this person is. It is none other than Kira from the Solo movie, which is really cool to see.
Disney, hey, we got to get people to recognize this movie, that it has pertinence. Come on, guys.
Yeah, Disney.
If you're gonna do it, this is the way to do it.
Exactly. It was a really, really fun book. If you want your Boba Fett, you like that whole Mandalorian side, you want to see more Boba Fett than you saw in any of the movies or any of the comics, this is the book for it, and bringing a beloved character back to relevance. So I would definitely check that out. Bryce, I know you wanted to talk about this book quite a bit.
I did. So I was honestly kind of worried at first when Steve McNiven did the interior art for the Alpha issue, but not the event. And I didn't know much about Luke Ross. I really didn't know anything about Luke Ross. But seeing his art in this issue, and especially with with Menon doing the colors,
right?
It was fantastic. I was 2 pages in, and I'm like, okay, any skepticism that I had toward this book for the artwork is out the window. And honestly, it felt just kind of like a normal event for a little bit. It was fun, but I was expecting it to maybe be a little more impactful. But then that reveal hits that it's Kira, somebody that we know from Han Solo's past. And I was hooked from the Alpha issue, but that ending had me totally invested in what's to come. I really think this could end up being something memorable.
Charles is very good with the slow burn,
right?
Where he'll just keep leading breadcrumb, and then third or fourth issue, you're gonna get the big hit.
Yeah. Right, and if this was the small kind of hit, I'm really excited to see what's to come. My only issue with the art is some of the facial expressions. Obviously, you're not going to see any facial expressions from Boba Fett because he's wearing a helmet the entire time, but the other characters, I feel like at times were off.
Bib Fortuna especially was a little...
Yeah, well, Bib Fortuna is always a questionable character, so...
Oh, yeah.
I'm kind of glad to see that whole dynamic in Tatooine as well. I'm excited for what's to come. This is definitely a story arc that is hitting the hearts of many original trilogy fans because it's taking place in the gap of time during Empires that we never really got a whole lot of solutions for. So they're touching on this and tying it back into the whole Disney picture, which is fantastic. And if you guys have any opinions about any of the books that we're going to talk about today, drop it down below. We are going to get to mutants in the middle of the show, so definitely stay tuned for that as well. The next book that I read was Batman number 109 by James Tynion and Jorge Jimenez. Bryce, did you want to take this one?
Sure. Yeah, so basically we open up same place we've been opening up the past few issues ever since his Infinite Frontier thing started. Scarecrow has kidnapped Bruce, and Bruce is trying to escape. That is continuing to be a 1 or 2 page story that Tynion's teasing probably for the next arc, which is one I'm really looking forward to. But then from there, we pretty much get a lot of follow-up and some resolution on what happened in issue 108 with the Unsanity Collective and Simon Saint. Bruce is basically trying to figure out what's going on there, while at the same time, we get some Station TM.
Station Travis.
We get some cool moments between Ghostmaker and Harley. Nothing. I mean, we get to see Ghostmaker's bat cave of sorts. I forgot what he called it.
His own dinosaur.
Yeah, he had his own dinosaur. Has his own car.
Yeah, it was like what Batman could do. I could do better, even though he's broke.
He starts bitching about the car. He's like, "Yeah, my Ghostmobile's not as good as the Batmobile. I'm lacking in that area."
Yeah, he's like, I'm in need of an upgrade.
Ghostmaker and Harley basically talk to each other about their psychopathic tendencies. So that was fun, but then something happens that was actually kind of interesting. And to me, this was the most interesting thing that happened in this issue. We find out that Poison Ivy is alive.
Yes.
Does this tie into Swamp Thing?
Maybe.
It
wouldn't surprise me.
Well, Poison Ivy is in Gotham. Ivy.
But in the green, she's like plugged in. So now I'm wondering if, with her plugged
she's
in
kind
here,
of dormant in Gotham while being
in the green
world in Swamp Thing.
Which we'll get to
in a little bit. In a little bit.
Right, because
Swamp
Ivy
Thing's a
has
much
been
better
in the
book,
Swamp Thing.
by the way, in my opinion. This issue, other than the Poison Ivy stuff and the reveal of Peacekeeper 01, which we get because Batman confronts Simon Saint. We get
a little filler
lead in, and basically it sets up a battle between Batman and Peacekeeper 01, and then there's a Ghostmaker story that I never read because I don't care about.
Right. This book, I really enjoy the moments between Harley and Ghostmaker because Ghostmaker completely has Harley pinned. And we've really seen the maturity of Harley really go full throttle in Tinian's run. It's been so subtle that a lot of people are just like, oh, it's Harley. But no, this is like really good growth for her character.
He's developing the character, which people I don't think take the time to really, they do the chuckles. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Harley's here, but look
they treat her almost like Deadpool.
Right, but this is like, oh, this is cool. Like, I'm enjoying this. I want her to continue to be that mature Harley while still staying true to what she's doing. But that was my favorite part. I think the art took a little bit of a hit here at some parts. I don't think this was Jorge Jimenez's best art that he's given us. He definitely makes a good use of his space, but when you're drawing a freaking dinosaur, I don't think that. I think that takes a good amount of time, and this book is supposed to be bumped out, so I think some panels did suffer in this. Hey, Sheena, station.
Hey, V.
Welcome, everybody, to the Hellfire Gala that we were formally invited to. I do want to point that out. We were formally invited to the
We're just waiting for our gate to open.
Yeah, our gate is, Cabs on Comics. So we are.
Kenny, what's up, man? How you doing?
Kenny is the homie.
Dude.
We got
Chet.
We got Head Tops Comics and me. We got Ringo Starr invited to the gala. Hey, we look pretty fire though. We look pretty fire.
I was just testing things out, and I started a video call last night, and Chet started calling me Ringo Starr.
Listen, Ringo got rich off of gravy training. Just gonna put that out there.
Well, right. But honestly, the thing with this issue, especially compared to last issue, this was honestly kind of a letdown.
Yeah, I felt the same way.
It's a lull. It's a lull. I'm not saying it was.
It's a setup.
It was enjoyable, but
there's stuff to enjoy.
A lot out of next issue.
There are little moments in here I really enjoyed though, like Bruce having the flashback of talking to Miracle Molly with if you forgot everything, then you could be a better Batman. I thought that was a cool moment.
Do I wrap my chest? No, I shave my chest.
And onto the art, there is something I actually do love. I love the facial expressions that Jimenez puts on Barbara Gordon.
Yeah,
she always looks put off and perturbed.
Right.
There's such a big difference between Bruno Redondo's Barbara, which is sweet and just kind, caring, somebody you really want to be around, and then Jorge Jimenez's Oracle. Yes. That is just constant sass and someone you also want to be around, but for totally different reasons.
Here's the reason. She likes Dick Grayson. Who wouldn't like Dick Grayson? I would sass Batman all day, every day, twice on Sundays
especially if you have to deal with Ghostmaker too.
Exactly. And Harley, someone she doesn't even like.
So another thing I complain about in Tom King's run, but in this run I don't mind, the deconstruction of characters where like Batman's been deconstructed to death. Harley Quinn, I think, is a great character to deconstruct and humanize.
Yes.
and really go after, because really she's been a sidekick most of her, even in her regular series. I feel like she's not written well.
Yeah.
So I like that they're fleshing her out. Gardner, I can't figure out if that's going to be a big character or not. I saw the Riccardo Federici variant cover coming up, and I got to say, I love that sketch cover.
Wait, Gardner.
The woman who showed up to...
yeah. See, that's how much this book was of a lull to me. I already forgot this side character's name.
There was moments, like, if I were to, like, grade it on my old show, I'd say it was like a 6. Like, it's setting up something, I just don't know what.
Yeah, and it was enjoyable. It was enjoyable.
Yeah, it wasn't. I feel like because this book has been hit after hit after hit, this book kind of took a little bit of a hit not a hit, but like a dip in it, because it's a little bit of a letdown, because nothing happens that we're used to. But I'm always a fan of good character moments, and that's exactly what it gave us. It of course is going into more of the future state stuff with with the Peacekeeper, and the Magistrate, which I'm not a big fan of.
No.
But I know that they have to go there, because if they are going to tie stuff back into future state, it has to be in Batman, just to make future state relevant, because of
Batman and Superman. Honestly,
Station, brother Joe, Station.
Just to go back to Jimenez, I love his Instagram account and how excited and pumped he is to be drawing this character. Like, you honestly know the love that he has for doing this book.
Right.
And for me as a fan, that means the world to me, that this dude is so excited to be working on this book.
You're right. And he's very interactive too.
Yes.
I also really like when creators take the time to interact with the people that are buying their book, because at the end of the day, we are keeping them in the business.
Joshua Williamson and Howard Porter on Flash, constantly interacting with me.
Right.
Dude, honestly, you want somebody that's interactive. Now, it's minimal interaction because of the language barrier, but Marco Cicchetto.
Yes.
That's
also
part of the reason Daredevil.
I need to get you a copy of Philadelphia, because I saw you said you hadn't read it yet, and
I have not.
I have the first trade, but it's really good. Philadelphia is fantastic. Boy, if we go too far towards future state Flash fans, we'll flip. Not me. Yeah, I will flip, because we've had years and years and years of Wally West being the poster boy to Torment, and it's not going to happen again. I'm telling you, it's not going to happen, or else I will personally march over to DC Comics and tell them my opinion.
Yeah, Dick Grayson finally gets his moment to shine, and this is coming from a Barry Allen fan. You can ask Brandon how big of a Barry Allen fan I am, and
thinks it's spectacular.
I want
Wally my guy.
Wally West to get his moment in the sunlight.
Yeah. I want them both to have the same equal amount of energy.
I feel
That's
like
a great compromise.
At this point, I feel like Wally West needs to be his own character. Like, not a Flash, but something else now.
Oh, so not a Robin, but a Red Robin.
No, I'm kidding.
Not even... Oh, God. Let's not go to Impulse. Anyway, yeah.
I like Bart as a character. He's
No, Bart was a fun character. Humberto Ramos, for his art style, was perfect creating that character.
But yeah, one final note on Batman. Harley Quinn used to be my least favorite character in all of comics. This book
was created by Humberto. Did you say Humberto Ramos?
Humberto Ramos with Mark Waid, I believe.
Ringo and Wade.
Was it Ringo? Okay, Humberto did him for a long time though.
Yeah, it was Ringo.
Okay, it was Ringo. Which Ringo?
R.I.P. But
one of the best cartoonists.
Yep. But yeah, Harley Quinn used to be my least favorite character in comics. This book changed that. I actually tolerate her, and I'm growing to kind of like her a little bit.
100%.
Which is something I never thought I would say.
And Tinian, I feel like, is finally becoming his own man on this book.
Right.
Where he's going where he wants to. Like, I think he has the clout now to kind of say,
I can do what I want.
Yeah.
Basically, yes.
Which I really feel like, and part of the main reason I'm staying on this book is because I feel like when Tinian does get to the Scarecrow arc,
it's gonna be horror. Like,
it's gonna be phenomenal. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be phenomenal.
I'm so excited about that. And just like Travis said, smash that like button, but be careful because it is your own phone. So if
don't
you
Hulk
do
smash it.
Yeah, because then your phone won't be able to like any of the other videos. So make sure you give it just a nice little massage. Make it feel it's welcome.
Okay, Flash by Night, you got me, man.
What is up,
Don't take
Bobby?
Flash from Wally.
My guy. Yep. Please don't take Flash from Wally. Yep. I got you.
There can be, especially in Infinite Frontier, with Barry. With Barry, who is supposed to be going through the Omniverse. There can be 2 Flashes, and there can be 2 Flash books. There can be like a Spider-Man, like an Amazing Spider-Man and a Miles Morales type situation where you have the Flash, Barry Allen, and you have Wally West, the Flash.
Right, and I actually think that I'm never a fan of multiple books of a character. Like if we had like 5 Batman books, I think is too much. 2 is fine. 3 is okay.
2 different Flashes, I think could work.
I think can work because they have 2 separate roles in where DC wants to go. If it fits in their game plan, I will be very happy with it. I would love to see Gail Simone write Barry Allen. That's all I want.
Especially with Barry doing what he does best, going through the multiverse and the times. It would be a cosmic book of sense.
It would be so good. I would.
And Wally would be the more grounded, facing the rogues, your traditional Flash.
Like Tom Taylor doing Wally with his sensibilities, I think would be awesome. Or someone in that Tom Taylor, like Zdarsky writing it, could be super fun.
Zdarsky, I feel like would try to traumatize him though, and that's happening after Wally.
Yeah, I want Wally to get a feel good story. I think that who do I think can write him?
Which is where Tom Taylor.
Give me Peter Tomasi.
Tomasi, yes, Tomasi's awesome with Gleason. I take it.
I don't want Gleason in here.
Really?
I don't want Gleason. But,
Trad Moore doing crazy art on a cosmic one would be
Trad
awesome.
Moore could do the Barry book, and oh my gosh,
that would be so. But no, because he just did something cosmic. I want someone new to show their versatility. That's why I'm kind of excited. Jamal Campbell would,
in a fucking minute.
Yeah, hey, watch your fucking language. It's a children's show.
What the freaking crap's going on here?
Lots of Ringo in here.
Yeah, that's Bryce.
Also, for Caps, thank you so much for your story on Daredevil show the other week. When we were talking about mental health, I appreciate the hell out of it because that was weirdly an important episode talking about mental health and domestic violence. Like, I got DMs about it. So
yeah.
Which you guys were talking about the Miller run in that, right?
Yes.
Mental health is a huge aspect of the Frank Miller run on Daredevil.
We got so emotional, guys. Definitely check out that replay. It was a very successful episode on our end from a show I didn't expect to get so deep into it, and it was just a very important conversation that we all shared. So for who were there during the live experience, it was definitely a very heartfelt one. And if you guys do want to catch the replay, I think it's important that we all kind of take a moment to self-reflect on what we have in the past and what we have left for us in the future to look forward to. So definitely,
you guys are getting deep on your show, and then here we are on this show.
I saw Caps and he shared something on it, and I just wanted to thank him for it.
For sure.
Now, as we are getting into our feelings, we can go ahead and segue right into the Amazing Spider-Man because, as you know, that book makes me feel certain things that are not so nice. But I'm sure. But Dan had a lot to say about this today in my off screen, so I'll let Dan kind of take the forefront of it.
So this is where it's going to get weird. In a Spider-Man book,
hasn't already.
Yes. I should not be more excited about Teresa Parker showing up.
Because nothing else has happened, but here is something that we missed.
Her interaction with the Chameleon, I feel, is stronger than anything we've read in the last 10 issues.
I would say the whole run.
Easily.
And
I got excited. And unfortunately, we get near the end because Teresa's now thinking, oh no, I might be...
Hey, how about you talk about who Teresa is for some people who may have not read her in the Dan Slott run?
So there was a one-off graphic novel that happened where they revealed this S.H.I.E.L.D. spy may or not be Peter's sister from Richard and Mary Parker.
Right.
And it goes on. There's reveal. I think she popped up in the Zdarsky run also.
I think she did for not anything to make Nick Spencer want to pay attention.
No. But there was more intensity in her with the chameleon, and like I felt like it was like a Pulp Fiction kind of like throwdown, where it was just the two of them in a room and her beating the shit out of him.
Then somebody says, "Bring out the gimp."
Yeah.
But then we get to the Peter Parker part, and the
God,
book fucking falls apart.
Yep. Fast, because Betty Brett is freaking pregnant. And guess who the father is?
Boomerang.
It's a clone.
It's a clone,
It's a clone.
of someone who is in the issues that we really wanted to forget about.
God bless. I would have rather him brought out the gimp.
Bro, I would have bought 3 of this issue if they brought out the Gimp. Where's Zed? Zed's dead.
Zed's dead, baby. Zed's dead.
Then they bring out D-list villain Chance.
Hey, I'm glad Chance is in this book. Nah.
The Foreigner is in this. Silver Sable, like
Yeah, no, the shirt did not go another button, guys. It did not. But yeah, we learned that Ned Leeds, who is a clone, who is brought back from the dead. No bullshit, it's a clone. But
they're cloning Ned now.
Yeah,
he was clone. Oh, bro, like Steve. Yes, like honestly,
I can't do this anymore. I said that if this book was garbage, I was gonna throw it away. Here's the thing.
This is what happens when you stop reading a crappy run 30+ issues ago, and it just keeps getting.
And they introduce a shitty character at the end called the fucking Finisher.
The Finisher's what I did in bed. I don't get it.
Oh God.
That's like
one word
name,
to not describe Nick Spencer's Spider-Man run.
He is not the Minister.
So I literally think that Nick Spencer wants to write a Spider-Man book, but not have Spider-Man in it. He's more interested in all of the characters around him.
Well, didn't he do Superior Foes? It was honestly kind of like great.
Yes, it was basically the Justice League, the Giffen DeMatteis book, but with Spider-Man villains.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Literally, that's all Nick Spencer's run is every Spider-Man run with every other villain.
Yeah.
Like, it's so easy. Like, I'm reading this book, I'm like, not because I'm a big Spider-Man fan, but because if you read some seminal runs, right? You don't need to read the slot run you just need to read, if you read Kraven's Last Hunt, A Brand New Day, right? What else? Life Story, any Spectacular Spider-Man book from the 80s, this is ripping it off. 100%. Like, it's, and people who maybe have not read it feel like this has been done before, because it has that feeling there's nothing original going on in this run. When
you're ripping off the Clone Saga, something's wrong.
Yes, you're ripping off the Clone Saga. You're ripping off Kraven's Last Hunt. You're ripping off, goddamn, you're ripping off this Marvel Civil War. Now it's Sinister War. Who cares?
I have an abusive relationship with the ASM. Like,
yeah,
I'll go years with, like, I'll drop it just because I just can't. The Straczynski run brought me back. So if you want to read a Spider-Man run that's pretty damn original, go check out the Straczynski run.
That run was phenomenal. I love it.
I tolerated John Romita Jr.'s art was
actually
horrible.
Not John Romita Jr. It was good. It was very good, John Romita Jr.
That's Dan. You said you say you have an abusive relationship with ASM. You just described my feelings with the Flash comics.
I'm a Wally fan, and like I go through moments where like Jeff Johns' run was great. Then there was a lot of bad stuff in between.
I want to personally apologize for Heroes in Crisis.
I want to personally apologize for talking about this book and giving it my money. I really do.
Yeah.
But shout out to Josh Williamson for his run on Flash, because he brought his own take and kept it true to the character. So
yeah, 100%. But in relations to the Amazing Spider-Man book, we also got a quick little backup story where we depicted Otto Octavius.
Oh God, yeah, I forgot about that. Oh boy, yeah.
Is he sleeping with Aunt May again?
No, but he made a deal with Mephisto.
Well, everybody does.
Yeah, but this was like so off panel. Like, when did this happen? And he has to go get the Sinister Six. So the Sinister War is literally going to be. It is going to be, what's his name? what's his name that we just saw him, Norman Osborn. What's Harry's? Kindred. Kindred. It's going to be Kindred versus Mephisto. I don't care.
I mean, they might as well just change the word Sinister Wars coming to the other spelling of it, because literally it's what Nick Spencer's doing.
Like, what is his deal with Kindred?
Oh, everyone wanted him to write Kindred, so he did, and then it fell in his face, and he's like, but I need to make up for it. Just like he's still making up for Secret Empire at the beginning of his Amazing Spider-Man run, when he was retconning everything.
I will say,
Secret
though,
Empire, I'm making
Empire,
it right. No,
the Matthew Rosenberg version of Punisher was actually fun, where he was chasing down Baron Zemo, and Baron Zemo basically became Black Mask during the Winnick run.
Gosh. But Secret Empire was pure and utter like, no, I wouldn't even sell it in a dollar bin. Hell, that would give New Comic Book Day a disgrace if I put that on. The
collector's gonna find something to pump on that.
Worst damn book of all time. No, thank you.
What, Secret Empire or this?
Secret Empire was way worse. So the fact that this isn't as bad as Secret Empire, I'm somewhat forgiving.
Okay, so wasn't Secret Empire the one where Cap was like Hell Hydra?
Yeah.
Yeah, his clone.
No one wants to even think about that. So what made you think, hey, an event would be perfect? No.
So if anybody wants to read a good Nick Spencer book, there's a book called Morning Glories from Image.
I've heard of that.
I really liked it. And Bedlam, which he, as soon as he got a Marvel contract, abandoned.
Yeah.
Go figure. That's how it usually goes.
Matthew Rosenberg did that with Black Mask with We Can Never Go Home. It was like, you want me to write X-Men? Fuck that. I'm done. Goodbye.
Unless you're Robert Kirkman, Ed Brubaker, or Donny Cates. If Marvel calls, you're leaving Image.
I mean, if for no other reason, to up your profile. Because I really see creators going to the big two, now using them to leverage them to get their own creator-owned book, get their name out there. Like, it's the way to do it.
Yeah. That's what Steve Orlando did for a very long time.
Yes.
And that's what Terry Dodson and Matt Fraction did for a very long time. Zdarsky, same thing. Even I would say Donny Cates returning to Image after God Country, because look at how much more of a voice God Country has.
Can we talk about that reveal about him and Otley on Hulk?
Oh, yeah. Him and Otley are doing Hulk, guys. Everyone knows that.
And Al Ewing on Venom.
And Al Ewing and Ron V are writing Venom.
Yeah.
With
I didn't see
Brian
that. Holy
Hitch.
shit.
Al Ewing, Ron V, and Brian Hitch are taking over Venom.
Oh. I didn't know about that one. That's good.
And guys, Dan's expression right now is what the finisher should be. But yes,
I was in my LCS when that news dropped. Brandon sent the link. I just left and I ran back in to tell my shop owner. And as I was in the shop, the Hulk news dropped, and I literally went in the back of the shop.
I was at work and I yelled, and they're like, "What is wrong with you?"
Thank you, Steve. I really didn't know that news.
Yeah, so it's going to be great. The two highest selling titles in Marvel are switching creators, and with the addition of Rom V, and I'm excited for it. I'm excited for it. We're going to see how it plays out.
Rom V, Lone Piece has had a great run the last year and a half.
Yeah,
we're going to talk about one of his books in a sec.
We got a party to go to first.
We have a party, guys. The moment you've all been waiting for. The reason why we're all dripped out and ready for our dates. Polaris, I'm ready when you are. We are talking about the Hellfire Gala. We're going to start with the main event. Marauders being the head title for this run. Not for this run, for this event.
Lots of covers.
Lots of covers. I went full out and I bought every single one of them. Jen, if you're listening, I don't like you anymore. I'm just kidding, Jen.
What did she do?
Have you never seen a Jen pull list?
So every Wednesday, it's like that.
No, Dan, it's like this. So
it got bigger.
Jen and our buddy Peter, Caped Clown. Good God.
Yeah, so instead of Comics Will Break Your Heart, her new username is Comics Will Break Your Wallet. So
The covers were so fucking good, guys.
I bought them all. And I ended up with like 23, 25 books at the end of my pull list. No, I couldn't even like get it. And then I went back for boards, and then I went back for the crossover trade, which a waste of $20 because I've already invested in variants and stuff. But
and the single issue, and you got the A covers, the variants.
See y'all, I'm telling y'all this right now. Except not every rock star has a Star David on because that was the thing in early rock.
Rock Johnson.
Dwayne Johnson.
See it.
Oh, early
If
rock.
you smell what the Rock is cooking.
I mean, hey, I'll take a young Dwayne Johnson, but I'm keeping my hair. I will say that.
He said too.
So Marauders, written by Jerry Dugan and Matteo Lawley. All right, so we open up with everyone kind of getting ready for the gala. They're expecting a lot of guests, and Emma Frost is obviously like kind of walking us through this story, okay? And so we see everybody show up. We have the X-Force who are they're like the bodyguards for the event, and then we have Captain America and the Avengers are strolling in. Of course, She-Hulk is still show players that she's working with. That's only for the after party, guys.
It's a family show.
It's a family show, and Polaris is not ready for what is to come for the after party. I'm telling you guys. That wifey's ready. She's ready. So the Avengers walk through the gate, and it's really cool kind of seeing them walk through the gate because they open the gate to everybody. They're opening their gates kind of like how Elsa opened the gates in Frozen.
You had to have the flower, though.
You have to have a flower, though. Right, you do have to have a flower. And so the Fantastic Four walk in, and there were a lot of good character moments in this first issue, guys. There were a lot of cool
Quentin Quire and Iron Man.
Quentin Quire and Iron Man, right? But right before that, we had Kate and Franklin kind of sharing a moment.
Yeah.
Right? After like X-Men Fantastic Four, Franklin no longer being a mutant for some weird reason. I guess because to be a mutant, you have to hit puberty at least 20 years after your first appearance in comics, which never happened for Franklin. But
wait, how old is Franklin now? Because isn't Kate Pride in her like 20s?
He's like 15, I think.
Station. Yeah, so the fact that this is a character who's been around since 1969 is now finally a teenager is a little bit weird for a lot of people. So then we have Iron Man and Quentin Quire because Iron Man kind of removed his flower and he got there anyway. Quentin is very mad at him, so they're just like going at it a little bit. We're going to see more of that in the X-Force book. So what this book is doing, it's showing you the start, middle, and finish. All the other X-Men books, like Hellions and X-Force, will tell you what's in between the beginning, middle, and end.
I got a lot to say about Professor X's outfit.
So Marauder, because I haven't been reading Marauders, so I skipped out on it. This goes over the whole gala.
Yes.
Pretty much, yeah, for the most part.
Because at the end, they all leave. Right, so Dr. Doom walks in, and then all the ambassadors to follow.
AIM
walks in. So the United Kingdom walks in with Russian and Madripoorian diplomats. We see them because they are going to be a bigger thing. They're going to have some plot line in this. Exactly. We are dressed to the nines. We're ready. What are you guys wearing to the gala is my question. If you guys are choosing to participate, which you all should, have fun with it. And then we get Hazmat in there. I think that was Hazmat. We get AIM, though. We get Doctor Strange. And then Professor X walks in looking like he just literally came to America from Coming to America.
He's got so much gold on.
Makes two chains looking a little poor next to Professor X, but
he could be the one Magneto murders.
Yeah, right,
which we do know that is bound to happen. And Professor X and Mr. Fantastic share a moment because after their last encounter, it didn't really go so well. They were pissed at each other.
When was their last encounter? House and Powers?
No, the X-Men Fantastic Four were Professor X and Magneto make him forget. Yeah. Make him forget how to make that machine that would basically end mutants.
I gotta read that book. I didn't know that was in
the last 5 pages were better than anything else in that book. That was the thing that they nailed.
Right. I really do enjoy the moment between Kate and Franklin. Double blame Fable. I don't know. Don't blame Fable. Hashtag
blame Fable.
Hashtag blame Fable. Hashtag blame Fable. So we're at the gala, and of course, Emma Frost goes through her little costume change. We have Beast and Sage in the backstage, kind of like literally moderating everything, looking at the screens from the X-Force. And we get this whole introduction about it's about building together a future between everybody. There's going to be music, fireworks, everything is going to come into play in this big event. So
Fifth Element moment.
Yeah, so we get this mutant come to the main stage, and her mutant ability combined with the 5-in-1 in Marvel Girl walk them through the whole telepathic journey of playing the instrument as well, and that kind of symphony feeling. However, Dr. Doom is not a fan, which I love. And he will be. I don't even think he'll be a fan of his wedding, which will be coming up.
I was going to say, the only thing Dr. Doom is a fan of is when it involves him leading Liberia.
Right.
Third person speaking. Doom commands. Doom says this.
Right. And then we do get a little moment with the Marauders team, of course, and they're gambling, and the thing comes in, and instead of it's clobbering time, he says it's gambling time. And that was fun. Emma Frost changes again. She gets a little moment with Banshee because, they do have kind of a weird relationship on Krakoa right now, which hasn't really been touched on. So there are a lot of little moments. We get little Robbie Reyes in the back who didn't even dress up for the gala. Come on now. And then Emma Frost is literally bouncing from guest to guest to guest. We get a little cameo appearance from Run the Jewels.
Oh, shit, yeah.
Yeah, Run the Jewels are in there, so that was a little bit of a cool cameo in there. So you're going to see a lot of guests come in, Eminem and what's his name, who's been doing the podcasts. What's his name? Method Man. They're going to have little cameo appearances in this.
Wait, Eminem?
Yeah, Eminem's going to be in
wow.
I think an issue of Excalibur. But, Captain America and Doom are talking, and then, of course, they don't get along, right? Doom, I feel like there's going to be a conflict down the road with Doom and the X-Men, and of course...
Who oppresses mutants in Latveria, that they say. Right.
And of course, the Sheer Empire is there, and as soon as, Emma's yeah, we're not conquering the Earth, but then the Sheer Empire is yeah, congratulations, we'd like to congratulate Mutadom on conquering the planet. And Emma Frost is hey, that's not what happened. So that was fun. Of course, we're continuing, and we get a lot of more moments of the other guests are kind of talking about everything they don't like. And Sebastian had something delivered, and there is something that Emma Frost is covering up because she's talking to her little cuckoos and having them not tell anybody. We're just getting a lot of moments. A lot of things are stirring. This is walking us through beginning, middle, and end. We end with stuff going wrong in the kitchen, and then Emma Frost is doing her best to keep everything covered up. I hope this is making sense. You really do have to read it. It was a great book.
There is a moment with Captain America where she's I think he's into me. He's oh, I just read his thoughts. I remind him of his mother.
Yeah.
Emma said that?
Yes.
Yeah. Polaris called me. She said she was going to know. She said she was no.
I don't know why I saw a refrigerator and immediately thought of Kyle Rayner.
No. Oh, so Guy Gardner thinks about Kyle Rayner. Okay.
Well, because of the whole refrigerator thing.
Right.
And then fridges.
The fridging.
Right. So Magic and Doctor Strange, they talk. We got Cyclops and Cap talking, and they're oh yeah, we met a few days ago. King in Black, and then next dinner is served, and that's what we're going to be at the end of this. We do get a little bit of a backup story, which is
classic X-Men, I think, from the Hellfire.
Yeah, Yeah, this is the past Hellfire Gala written by Chris Claremont from way back in the day. So this really takes us from the gala to dinner, and then we're going to get all the other issues are what's in between. So if you want to just follow the broad synopsis, read Marauders. If you want to focus on what your characters are doing in their respective teams, read the other issues that walk you through what's going on. So dinner will be served in the next issue, which will be coming out in a few weeks. However, then we do move on to Hellions, which is written by...
is Hellions next or is X-Force? I thought X-Force was next. In the order.
You can.
Okay, we can talk about X-Force. Bryce, you can talk about X-Force since that was your X book.
Yeah, this was my only X book this week. I showed up fashionably late to the gala. And this is basically what's going on with the bouncers. And we really get to see just how sinister, no pun intended, well, pun intended, screw it, Beast is becoming in this book. Like, Beast is becoming a straight-up villain.
Boom. All right.
Yeah, so we start out with Quentin Quire letting everybody in, and then he stops Iron Man. And my God, I hate comic Tony Stark. I hate Tony Stark.
Don't we all?
They end up arguing and eventually dominate. Or no, I think it was Sage. It was like, you guys are both being difficult. Let him in.
Yeah, I think it was Sage.
Which Sage, God love her heart, she puts up with so much crap on this team.
She's a baddie, though. She's a baddie.
Sage, no doubt. Yeah, then we get Beast kind of doing his thing, Wolverine doing his thing, and it's basically just, we're still dealing with the Terra Verde stuff and the Telefloronics. Except now Beast has let people that are possessed with those Telefloronic plants into the gala.
Right. So really what's going on in this book is, so as we've seen in the X-Force book, is they're trying to get control of the Terra Verde and really try to seclude that to one area and keep it from growing because it's impoverishing a lot of people. However, Beast is now trying to colonize it, but doing it subtly while the X-Force are being the bodyguards of this event. While they're doing it, Professor X reads Beast's mind. He's like, yeah, I'm not happy with you. But if it worked...
Like, do I really want to know what you're doing? And Beast was like, you told me you did. And Professor X was like, yeah, sure.
Right,
like,
and then they're like, well, if we get caught, we're screwed. Because the people who came representing the Terra Verde were spreading it. We're spreading the contagion onto some of the other guests. While Beast is trying to colonize it, they're trying to expand it. And that kind of
trying to control them too. So honestly, that's, if I had to say, at the beginning of this book, I thought the people of Terra Verde were going to be the main villain of this book. But honestly, one thing I love about this book, Beast is the villain.
Right, Beast is really the villain because
Beast is the freaking villain in this book. He is basically, if you read the informational page, he is comparing himself to a god.
Right.
Fable. Okay, so I'm only buying a few tickets to the gala. However, come Inferno time, I'm going to be buying all of it.
Yeah, Bryce, we are in the VIP section. So, of course, someone shows up who was never invited in the first place.
Never, ever invited.
And he shows up in a row.
Rob Liefeld. He shows up.
Deadpool shows up.
You get some great Deadpool and Wolverine exchanges only for Domino to come in and be like, screw you, Wade.
Right, and so Wade comes in, and it was so cool.
Meanwhile, Sage had been frozen by Emma, who basically found out what Beast is up to.
Right.
With the spreading of the Telefloronics, and then we find out that they've been hacked, essentially.
Right.
And
which is
that
how
one of the plant people have gotten loose in the gala, which is going to bring some interesting dynamics coming up. And I'm going to have to buy the next issue of Wolverine now, thanks to this book.
Right. I do appreciate that Emma and Sage do share a drink in this book. It is very good. So that's X-Force, and it's very kind of, because they are the CIA. They are the CIA of Krakoa. This is very much like that. They're trying to keep everything in wraps, but it doesn't go that way because Beast is not God, as not
He's
as
not
godly
God.
as his powers may think he is. And then we have Hellions, which is issue 12. This is written.
One more thing I do want to say about X-Force. People have been up and down on this book. Some people have been riding it since day one, just reading it seemingly so they could trash on it. And honestly, yeah, issue 19 was a bit of a lull. It was a bit of a dip. But honestly, this series as a whole, 1 through 18, and then issue 20, in my opinion, is the best that this book is the best that you could have asked this book to be. With the exception of maybe it could have been a little darker, a little more violent. Story-wise, this book is doing exactly what it's doing. Well, I'm not talking about this issue specifically. I'm talking about the story as a whole.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is getting into their dark aspects, especially with the Terra Verde. It could. Josh Russard's art is really phenomenal, and Percy writing it is also really great as well. Hellions number 12, written by Zeb Wells, art by Stefan Segovia. This book is by kind of hilarious. So the only people who are invited to the gala are Sinister, Havoc, and Quanin. So 3 people, and Sinister looked pretty fly for Mr. Sinister. He doesn't dress up very often, but when he does, yeah, he got a new cape, the drip, everything.
Shoot.
So we got the other Hellions. They're just moping around, and Sinister's like, yeah, you guys suck. You suck. And Quanin, man, she's
flawless.
And Havoc looks good too. But we know that Havoc has other motivations in this story, as he asks Professor X at the gala if they could bring back Madeline Pryor, why her resurrection has been halted. And with Inferno coming up, maybe that is a tease for what is to come. I don't think that was in there for no reason, especially after the Inferno drop. Madeline Pryor is the one who betrayed the X-Men to lead into the Hellfire, not the Hellfire Gala, into the Inferno story way back when, right? Because of her terrible husband, Scott was the husband, right?
Yes.
Scott
Which is funny that Alex is now interested in her.
Well, he was interested after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Magneto's
she
outfit in this terrible.
Huh?
Magneto's outfit in this is terrible.
Magneto? You talking about Luchador?
He looks like he's about ready to go to the Kentucky Derby.
He looks. Do you remember the suits from Dumb and Dumber?
Little bit.
Oh God, yeah.
That's what it looks like.
Right. So they all get to the gala. The Hellions are there, and they're talking, and then the other team that wasn't invited, they show up in fashion just to embarrass Sinister, Havoc, and Quan. Quan's not really embarrassed, but hey, what is going on, Raging Cajun? How are you doing? But they show up and they're just embarrassing the crap out of Sinister in front of all of his friends. They're embarrassing Havoc, and that was just like so much fun to look at. We do get a lot of Lorna moments, which were great. Yeah, Magneto does look like a big old pimp in there. He literally does look like a freaking pimp, which was kind of funny in there as well.
Start calling him Gator.
Right. So this story, you really just want to read for all of the moments going on, and with the Hellions, and this book has just been so comedic. They're just they're embarrassing everybody, and Quanin literally goes off on one of them, and then we lead into what Sinister is really all about. They get back, and he's like, "Oh, it's gonna be home." So this book doesn't really do a whole lot other than just like give you a fun little distraction and literally see how the gala is coming apart a little bit. Not really coming apart, but it's giving Emma Frost a lot to worry about. And these mutants are there just trying to have a good time. They were not invited, so they showed up just being unapologetically themselves.
They're being Hellions.
The twist at the end was interesting.
Yeah, do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Grey Crow turns into Sinister, the evil Sinister, not the chucklehead that we've been enjoying the last 10 issues with.
Right.
Not smiling, but literally the evil. So
version.
Has he been Grey Crow the whole time because it's hard to say.
Right.
But interesting
we
twist.
will find out.
No Sheena, hip hop, pimps don't cry. They don't shed a tear.
They don't.
Got
So
that life.
the sinister engineer, the fall of X.
Maybe. There's a lot of things that Hickman is doing in this story. It is still Hickman that is doing in this event to kind of give us no idea what Inferno is going to be all about. It's going to be Madeline Pryor. It's going to be Mystique, which we saw.
Now, have they said that Inferno is going to have a bunch of tie-ins like these other Marvel events?
It feels like Ten of Swords.
Bryce, I will answer your question with a question. Like you do in a press conference, based off the last books. What do you think is going to be with every X-Men event?
Well, I mean, Ten of Swords was just an event spread across the titles. There wasn't a Ten of Swords. I mean, there were one-shots, but there wasn't a Ten of Swords book.
It's going to be spread out through the issues.
X-Men really hasn't done anything like this, because I read earlier that Inferno was going to be a miniseries, too, written by Hickman. So it makes me wonder if it's going to be like Kingdom Black or War of the Bounty Hunters, where you got the main book and then the tie-ins throughout the X titles, or if it's just going to be the main book in all oversized issues.
I feel one-shots, like kind of like the Inferno Zero or whatever you want to call it, and then it'll go through the main books, and then they'll probably be the last book.
Right.
Makes sense.
Right. And then, well, this book has been coming out lately. I haven't really been enjoying it, but this book was a step up. This issue was a step up. Justice League number 62. Bendis is continuing his little new Avengers stunt in the DC universe with art by David Marquez, and the size on everyone's faces literally sum up this book in a nutshell because, yeah, Hippolyta is on the Justice League team. Flash makes an error. Yeah. Because she's questioning how she views her life and what's next to come, and Flash makes an error, so he brings Hippolyta and himself to the world of Naomi, because that's where the setting is in this place, and what's his name gets destroyed. Brutus gets destroyed by Hippolyta, and Aquaman pulling up in a tank. Something that even Scott Snyder would not have seen coming. So. Yeah, at the end of the day, we are getting the villain that is in Naomi, who also has a ridiculous name.
Zumbado.
Zumbado. Because whoever has been naming these new DC characters is literally whatever drugs they are on in that editorial office. I want the same thing because their names are just so bad.
It sounds like they found just like a Jabba the Hutt text to speech on the internet and just hit random generator.
Probably, yeah. I mean, the art's great. Nothing happens. I might drop the book. I'm out.
I did like the David Marquez page with Hippolyta standing over Brutus.
Yeah. But I'm not going to buy a book for the backup story, which is written by Rom V and Germanico, and it's a book that should be ongoing right now, should be its own book.
Aquaman should have his own book right now. How are you not going to have an Aquaman book either?
Yeah, I don't understand why we don't. And we don't even have a Hal Jordan book. You can't be DC Comics without Hal Jordan and Aquaman.
Yeah, the closest thing we have to a Hal Jordan book right now is Justice League Last Ride.
Yeah, and he's barely in it. Which is taking place on another Earth. So
yeah,
where
it's out of the continuity.
Yeah, it's Justice League Last Ride is really extending the narrative of Death Metal and saying we can have different multiverses, and this is taking place in one of those multiverses. So you're going to start seeing a lot more little Elseworlds miniseries because of that. And I think that this is their little experiment with that.
I don't know. DC, the stories now are better than with the exception of Flash, they're better now than they've been in the past couple of years.
I don't know. Like, you can't tell me that this isn't a letdown with what we saw with Snyder's. The Justice League book is supposed to extend the Justice League. It's supposed to raise the stakes of the DC universe.
I'm talking about overall. So while Flash and Justice League have taken a dip, Nightwing basically quadrupled in quality.
I have
Batman got better. Superman and Action Comics got better. Detective Comics somehow stayed the same.
I
Because
mean,
Tomasi was doing great, and now Mariko Tamaki's doing.
yeah, and while
really
all
good.
of these all of these titles are doing better, you're getting a lot more independent stories in the DC universe right now. But you're talking about a book that's supposed to drive your franchise. The Justice League book is supposed to drive your franchise. That is where you get your most powerful villains, your most powerful artists, your most powerful stories.
And if any book needs to keep
you
in
have to-
continuity, it
yeah.
needs to be Justice League.
Because you need a villain that can do everything, that can raise an army, that can be that it doesn't have to be Darkseid all the time. But the only character that is being pushed, Justice League is supposed to again push the narrative of DC Comics. It's supposed to extend that universe. This book is only extending Naomi.
I
Well,
haven't
I
liked
like
Justice
that.
League since
Now-
Brad Meltzer.
Wow.
If you want a villain, if you want a villain for Justice League, like they're making everybody else OP, bring in somebody like Brainiac, make him a little more powerful, and you've got a better villain already.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. If you bring in Brainiac, well, now Naomi needs her own series, which DC doesn't want to do because, for some reason, Brian Michael Bendis isn't going to write it. But David F. Walker, I don't know why David F. Walker isn't co-writing this story with Brian Michael Bendis. There should have been, before you make a story where Naomi is the head front, you should have had season 2 to where it's like, oh yeah, this got unresolved, so we're going to resolve it in the Justice League book. Naomi's not that big of a character. I don't care what you guys say. She's not that big of a character to be the head of a Justice League team that has Batman, Superman, Flash, Aquaman. We don't have no.
Don't even count Flash. Flash
But
is
spec hunters are going after Naomi now because of the series.
Well, here's the thing. You can achieve the same level, the same story. This same story can take place
in a Naomi book,
in a Naomi title, when you can have a better Justice League book. So if this was a narrative that Bendis wanted to tell, why are you pushing it in a Justice League book? You would achieve the same sales, right? Because the Naomi miniseries sold very well, and even if it doesn't sell well in single issues, the trade for Naomi was sold very well. It's a very high selling trade, or hardcover, should I say? Keep the Wonder Comics line and keep extending this narrative in that. That's what I would do.
The Wonder Comics line was doing really well between Naomi, Young Justice,
Wonder Twins.
Oh, hey, Fit to Be Red's here. What's up, man? How you doing?
Yeah, what is going on, bro? I do look like I'm auditioning for.
Brandon, what's in the briefcase?
What's in the briefcase? It's a gift for Polaris.
Oh, quick shout out to Fit to Be Read. He got me reading this, and it is phenomenal so far. So thank you, man.
But that's my gripe with the Justice League book. While they are pushing this so, Naomi, we'll get that hype for her CW series. You could achieve that hype in a Naomi book. That literally, if you want to get someone hype, give them their own title. Don't give them the whole DC universe.
Yeah.
It's stupid. It's ridiculous. And for that being said, this book, I'm out. I'm on Shark Tank. I'm out.
I can tell pretty quickly whether or not I'm going to like a book. It's the reason I skipped out on Heroes Reborn, and I've heard that that's only gotten worse. It's the reason I was out on Justice League after 2 issues, because nothing was happening. I didn't care. And I would buy it for the Justice League Dark story if it was a regular $3.99 book.
Yeah, no, I'm not paying $5.
Bendis does not need
Naomi.
20 pages to tell the lack of story that he's telling.
Yeah, no.
Give them both 10 pages, make it a $3.99 book, and let Ron B do his thing.
I think we were telling you about Philip Kennedy Johnson's Action Comics.
Fit, I'm going to go ahead. I'm getting ready to post a review up on my YouTube page talking about my artist-writer combo of choice, but I'll go ahead and tell you, Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale. You want to get into comics, read something by Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale from
Long
the late
Halloween.
90s and early
Read
2000s.
The Long Halloween. Read Batman The Long Halloween.
Daredevil Yellow, Spider-Man Blue.
Superman
for all seasons.
For all seasons, yes.
For all seasons.
That's a creative team that I think will get you.
So raise your hand if you gave a fuck about Bendis's Legion of superheroes.
I read it. I enjoyed it a little
Really?
bit.
You
How
did?
can I put two hands farther down to the floor?
I have no passion for those characters.
I wanted to read it because I've never read a Legion of Superheroes book. I need to go back and read the Mark Waid and Barry Kids and stuff. But I was excited more for Ryan Sook than I was for Bendis.
I don't care about the Legion.
Because
which
for-
Young Justice season 4 will have the Legion of Superheroes in it, so maybe that'll get me to care about it, and I'll go back and read all these books. And
I mean, yeah, I would go. There are better books out there, and I know that. However, for an entry book, for a lot of people who that was their first time reading Legion because they haven't really been in comics, they were not in the New 52, so we're talking before 2013, or 2012 rather. You needed to just start it out a lot slower and get to know some of these characters, which Bendis picked up the pace like, oh, we already know everything about, which Bendis didn't even know everything about him. So I don't know. It was I was excited for the art. The art was stunning, and there was a lot of artists drawing that book. It was a pretty good plot, but it really deviated from what it was setting up.
yeah,
And there's a reason why it got canceled.
I've been not impressed with his DC work. I've liked Pearl. I thought that was good.
Yeah, but hey,
oh,
let's talk about it.
If you have any social media, drop it in the chat or DM me or something, and I'll send you an Amazon link to the Long Halloween, just so you can go ahead and put, because it is 100% worth it. Not to get too derailed though.
We have two more books to talk about. One of which being the Swamp Thing. Being that I just talked about Justice League, I will throw it to one of these guys to pick up that. It is by Ron V and Mike Perkins. And this book is phenomenal.
This one, I know me and you both have been praising this book nonstop, but
yes.
Here, you go ahead and take this one.
Swamp Thing, one thing I will say, this team of Perkins, Rom V, and Mike Spicer have been phenomenal on catching the vibe of the character and this book. Spicer might be the underrated hero of this book on Perkins' art.
Alan Moore would be proud.
Which Spicer's doing the colors for Beta Ray Bill, too. So he's honestly one of the most underrated colorists in the game right now.
This book is a journey through the green. A lot of it's with Woodrue and Jennifer, which I think is interesting because if you know the history of Jason Woodrue, who is a man who wanted to be a plant.
Right.
And the biggest part of the Alan Moore Swamp Thing Anatomy lesson book that basically was Swamp Thing learning that he's a plant pretending to be a man. So he's taking Jennifer through the green. Alec Holland, or what would be an echo of Alec Holland's personality in the green, is basically telling Levi, the new Swamp Thing, what the green is and how to tap into it. And there's phenomenal splash pages of him going to echoes of the past through the green, like going into the roots of the green.
Right.
And again, like, this is a love letter to Alan Moore's run.
For sure.
And there's beautiful pages with, like, what they consider the first Swamp Thing, which was, oh God, what was the name?
Alex, like Alex.
No, that giant swamping creature.
No, I thought you were talking about like the original, like House of Secrets '92.
No, that giant swamp thing like creature that's running through the green that he's confronting.
Okay, yeah.
Ivy, or maybe it's Poison. I think it's Ivy.
I think it's just Ivy.
She helps by kind of like wrapping his roots to the ground, and he taps into the creature and then goes more into the past.
Right, and I will tell you guys this right now. It will read fantastic in trade.
Yes, 100%. This will be a great trade read.
They come out with the deluxe hardcover and absolute get it.
So usually with the trades, like definitely from Image, I would say buy the single issues because those actually go more towards the creator than they do the company.
Yeah.
Image, the company itself, makes the majority of their money off the trades.
You mean DC?
No, Image. The way
creator.
Image is framed with their work.
But with Big Two, it doesn't matter.
Big Two, not so much, but with the Image, the single issues profit the creators more, and the trades, the lion's share goes to actually the company. So Walking Dead, they made a shitload of money off of.
Well, there's only one way to read with The Walking Dead, and that's freaking 14
Invincible now.
compendiums.
Yeah, but it's an interesting structure. That's why like Brubaker will always put extras into the single issues.
Right. But yeah, this book has been fantastic, you guys.
For sure.
And so we end the story with with Levi waking up Jennifer from like she thinks it's a dream. So, and then we see like Amanda Waller coming in, and Pilgrim is calling her, and he was like, yeah, we have a swap, revealing that there's a swap thing.
A Holland
experiment phenomenon. So, and then we kind of get a little Suicide Squad tie-in, seeing that a lot of them are already deceased, or they're not. They're like
sharks right up there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which, God bless. This is a horrible time to not be reading Suicide Squad.
I need to read it.
It's been good.
Should I go back to issue 1 and start reading it, or just pick up the newest issue?
I feel like start at the tie-in with
Teen Titans
Academy, and you're
because I have been reading that.
Right, and then the last book, which was so fantastic, and it's a Tanyan book. It is The Nice House on the Lake. This is number 1. This is his next little horror adventure, and I'm not going to really talk about what happened to this book too much.
So freaking good.
So it's the same genre, being horror as Something Is Killing the Children. However, it's like a different environment. This is like mid to post-apocalyptic, and they're quarantined in this house. We're getting like a lot of references to quarantine, and a lot of like, it's like a reunion. It's literally a reunion and a getaway and an apocalypse all in one. And you get to see a lot of people who don't like each other, or maybe didn't like each other in high school or college, wherever this takes place, but now are now friends. It takes place. But it was
forced to be friends given the circumstances.
Yes, and this team, Tanyan and Alvaro Martinez Bueno, just continuing the great work that they did on Justice League Dark, because this issue really takes what they started and like their collaborations together to a whole new level. So if you didn't know that they wrote Justice League Dark together, definitely go check that out. Make sure you buy this book before copies are not available, because
I'm about to go back and buy another copy.
This will be a movie or series. I already feel it already.
I feel like this could be a Netflix series. I definitely feel like, because the Netflix is super into like the horror house kind of vibe right now, between
like
Haunting a Hill House and things like that. But
very strong read, like 100%. This was a strong read.
Right. It was Rom V or something. Yeah, it was probably Swamp Thing that we told you to read.
Swamp Thing. Many Deaths of Layla Starr is a good Rom V book. If you can find a comic shop and track those down. I don't think they're too hard to find.
They shouldn't be, but there's a little print run of that.
Even though I would love for that to be a series of some kind.
Yeah, Boom Studios has been known for a lower print run. However, they are very high in Berserker, so I guess.
Yes.
That's Keanu Reeves.
I feel like Ross Ritchie purposely does not publish so many copies of a book just so he can focus on how like the dollar value in the resale.
Yes.
So and because that's what he advertises. He doesn't advertise the creators or the local comic shops. He advertises the eBay sellers who are selling the book. So if you're an eBay seller, definitely kiss ass to Ross Ritchie, as most people do. But
which Boom Studios, again, you've got Something Is Killing the Children, Once and Future, Berserker, Seven Secrets, Many Deaths of Layla Starr, just to name a few of the phenomenal titles.
Right. I mean, they're great titles, right? Even their trade paperbacks, they don't have a high print run. They're like, oh yeah, if you want to get the trade paperback.
Wind was a fucking problem.
Yeah, so they're like, here's the thing with their trade paperbacks. They'll release them right at the same time. So let's say the first arc ended. Like the first arc of Seven Secrets ended the day issue 7 came out, beginning the new arc. They sold very, very, very limited copies of the trade paperback. Like the exclusive trade paperback, which contains all the same content that is going to be in the next volume 1 in a month. But
which it took my shop probably 3 weeks to get that. I mean, they got it in, but it took my shop like 2-3 weeks.
Yeah, because not a lot of shops order enough copies of
trades
of trades, or even Boom Studios books, because they don't have a high print run. So if you don't upshot your orders, you don't qualify for so many. You don't qualify for so many of those exclusive trades. So that's how they're dicking over they're dicking over comic stores. And Ross Ritchie as a publisher, yeah, you're making your money. It's a business, but you're mainly giving into the dollar value and the FOMO shopping instead of the actual content that's between the pages of what you're publishing.
Which is why Image to me is the best publisher around. Just because Image genuinely cares about the readers more than, I mean, they obviously care about profits.
Yeah, Ross Ritchie don't give a shit about
Image is going to profit because they care about their readers.
Yeah. So recently Ross Ritchie did get promoted in Boom Studios, so I don't understand how founder gets promoted, but okay, that's me. I think that was more like, hey guys, I'm relevant. My name's Ross Ritchie. I created it. No one knows who I am, but I'm here. But
plays the media game well.
He does.
He plays the media game well. He's very good at reaching out to people selling his books on the back end. And I'm just saying, if I created a company, yeah, getting people like Keanu Reeves to write a comic book is great. So the fact that he did that is fantastic. But I would be the creative teams that are being put together and the stories that are being published, I would be very interested in reading them. But I don't. I feel like that guy frustrates me so much.
I don't know. Props to him though for somehow getting, like, he somehow managed. I know it had nothing to do with him creatively, but Something Is Killing the Children is the hottest book that's been out since it started.
That's really why he's so successful.
Nothing has topped Something Is Killing the Children in 2 years. Almost.
The fact that
they started investing in creators.
This fact that Something Is Killing the Children and Once in Future are so successful, literally, yeah, I feel like if they pitch it to Image, they would be able to achieve the same level of sales. But the fact that it's solely Boom Studios is really just elevating the status of Ross Ritchie as a founder. I don't even think he's the publisher; he's just the founder. So that really, again, doesn't fall under him. So he really has nothing to take credit for the success of Something Is Killing the Children.
Well, not that. He definitely has something to take credit for the success of the company where he goes and gets these creators, because Something Is Killing the Children isn't their only book.
Right.
Remember, before Something Is Killing the Children happened,
then you didn't know and read. Well, Once in Future and Something Is Killing the Children really came out at the same time. Lumberjanes was their biggest book. Yeah, but still, not a lot of people were, oh my gosh, Boom Studios Lumberjanes.
No, yeah. They were more like, Once in Future. Once in Future
they own Transformers.
Started this whole thing.
Or no, not Transformers. My Little Pony. That was, I think, their biggest book.
Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I feel like because of that, Ross Ritchie is like, there's a reason why there's so many exclusive covers. Like, they're selling exclusive covers only through Boom Studios' website. There is no you don't see Marvel selling exclusive Marvel exclusive covers.
That was their way of getting around paying poor rates to creators for years.
I was like,
Marvel too. Like,
shut up! I don't care.
Boom Studios isn't the big dog. That's the thing. Marvel is the big dog. They can do whatever they want. Boom Studios still kind of has to be creative, because while they're one of the top, them and Image are the top two creator-owned publishers at the moment, Boom Studios is still they're the runt of it all. Now, they are kind of becoming like the new dark horse with some of these IPs they're getting between Power Rangers and Magic the Gathering.
Yeah,
but they're still the runt of it.
They're putting out good titles. You know, they're getting creators to do very good work, except I really am not a fan of the way that they're operating as a company. I think that's it's not what comics are about, you know.
It's Valiant during the 90s.
You know, it's not what comics are all about, and I'm just not. I don't like Ross Ritchie. I like the stories. I'm going to buy the stories, but those, I just like, why? As a publisher, you know how unprofessional to say, this is how much a book that I had nothing to do with is selling for.
Well, I mean, it's not that he didn't have anything to do with the book itself, but without him,
nothing to do with.
Without him, the book would not have gotten published as we know it.
True.
Not saying it wouldn't have gotten published, but not as we know it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure a story like that would be published, because all of these creators are doing work with other companies, not just Boom. No writer is going to invest, unless their name is Keanu Reeves, is going to say, my sole purpose, or your name is Matt Kinn. Matt Kinn is literally so far up Boom's is behind. It's not even funny. But it's just a little aggravating to see that this is where Ross Ritchie is going with his company, is towards eBay. And I don't know, that's just me. But anyway,
I will ask you one thing, though. Yeah, James Tynion is on Batman, but do you think James Tynion would be the household name in the comic industry that he is today?
Oh no, not a
Boom Studios hadn't been there.
That's unfair to say, because I thought you were going to say if something is Killing Joke never got published. I would say that's a big thing.
Who's to say it would have gotten published?
The fact that he's doing work with Image, the fact that he could have that him and Werther Dell'Era could have easily said Image as our pitch, and he could have had that going.
Okay, fair. But would Department of Truth have sold as well without people taking a chance on something as Killing the Children? Would
again,
from the Lake have
would have had Batman by then?
He would have had Batman, and
he would have. Okay,
he had the Woods out already. That was decent. I think he was. Seller.
I think after Joker War, and the fact that he's doing a lot of work on the biggest character in all of comics, he has that no matter who you are, if you write Batman,
didn't you get that book after Something is Killing the Children?
He had Batman before Something is Killing the Children. Did he?
Something is Killing the Children started in fall of 2019. Here, hang on.
Oh, he was on Batman.
Yeah. If he was on Batman, he was already announced to be on Batman.
Yeah. So I think that, even when you are writing a Batman book, it doesn't matter who you are. The moment you're writing Batman, the moment you get announced, hey, you're writing Batman, you automatically have a bunch of new readers that are going to be your biggest fan.
That's fair. Yeah, you've already got some clout to your name that you're going to.
So it's not like, oh, he's writing a Ron V. I'm going to use Ron V as an example. It's not like Ron V saying, oh yeah, I'm writing Swamp Thing. Now go buy my indie book, right? Because that's a lot harder of a audience to copy and paste.
Even though everyone should be.
Right. But as a Batman writer, saying, oh yeah, all my Batman fans, which is everyone who's reading a DC comic book.
Yeah.
Oh, check this out. You're going to have more of an audience to reach over there.
We are way off subject.
We've already covered all the books. This is a bigger show. Why not just have some general discussion?
So I think it's very hard to measure the success of one book when you're talking about another indie book that's also successful, literally, because he was also writing Batman and has already in the past written
Detective.
Batman.
Yeah.
So Tynion has always had an audience. He's always, doing Detective Comics, again, brings you a form, especially when you are the only person to ever give Red Robin his spotlight in the past since this ongoing series.
I also felt like when he was not doing a Batman book, he was doing a pale imitation of Scott Snyder the first couple of books he was doing.
That's fair. But in his first start on Batman, did he not have to kind of carry over from Tom King a little bit?
No, he really didn't.
He really. It was just a straight split. Like
it was like, okay, yeah, this is what Tom King doing.
This is me.
Yeah, that's really how he started it.
Fair enough.
So
I wasn't trying to say anything. I was genuinely asking a question because I didn't start reading Batman until
there literally was I'd say an issue of this is what happened, but here we go with this.
Okay.
It wasn't like okay,
you're right. This is me and Brandon every day.
But yeah, this is literally what we talk about every day. But I think the fact that what were we just saying? Yeah. So it was very much like, okay, let's not take off everything Tom King did, but let's just tell a new story. And without undoing anything, and that's really what it is. Of course, he gave the nod to the Bat-Cat moment, but that's never been explored because they don't want to explore it. Tiny doesn't want to explore it, so he's not going to do that, which is fine.
Batman Catwoman is forever meant to be a dysfunctional pairing that should not work, and sometimes does, sometimes doesn't.
And back to my original point, I don't think it's fair to track the sales of something as killing the children in relation to Department of Truth and all the other work he's doing, because he is writing Batman and is creating characters that are getting his name out as well.
And each book is a different beast.
That is fair.
Right.
That is fair. And there are readers that have come from Batman to something is killing the children and vice versa. And the books, like, all of your books are going to help each other.
Right. Or hurt each other, depending on...
Or hurt each other, yeah.
Look at Heroes Reborn in Avengers. Double hurt. Double shot in the ball.
Every time you mention Heroes Reborn, Dan does the same thing.
So funny story. We have a buddy, and he was hyping up Heroes Reborn after the first issue. I'm like, it's no good. It's no good. It's garbage. No. And now he's like, this book sucks.
Which reminds me, we need to, when the last issue of Heroes Reborn comes out, when we do wrap up that day, we need to get Peter on here.
I wasn't gonna put his name on blast, but
it's Peter. No, we need to get him on here just to give his final thoughts on here, because he was one of the biggest advocates for it when it started that I knew.
Yeah, and I told him the book's garbage.
We need to get him on the show the week it comes out to just give his thoughts on Heroes Reborn as a whole.
Right.
And we can just sit there and listen to him rant about it the same way I listen to you rant about ASM every time.
I did not rant this time.
You didn't rant this time. I was a little disappointed.
I talked about
why couldn't you hate that book more?
Because I didn't care for anything that it set up. At this point, I'm like, I don't hate it. I'm just expecting disappointment, so I'm just done caring.
Oh, God, it's like me on Batman during the Tom King run where it was like, I hate reading it. Why am I doing this? I need to stop.
I actually enjoyed Tom King's Batman, so shut your pie hole over there.
I still don't forgive him for killing Alfred.
I still don't know. I don't forgive Dan DiDio for killing Alfred.
Okay, that's okay. Either of them. That's
I don't forgive him for firing his editor.
Right.
But,
Like, if people ask me who my favorite character in DC Comics is, I always said The Flash or Nightwing. Right. I'm going to start telling them Alfred Pennyworth. Alfred is the most powerful character in DC Comics. If you're new here, that is my thing, okay? I'm here to tell you Alfred is the most powerful character in DC Comics. He could solo Darkseid if he wanted.
God damn, I'm trying to get this back on track and I can't do it. I can't figure out a segue to do this.
All right, you guys. So quick little announcements coming on the channel. Don't go anywhere because I'm talking about announcements. That's what all you guys do. But Bob Layton will be on the show on Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 4 Pacific. So make sure you guys tune in. If you don't know anything about Bob Layton.
One time he camped out on Rob Liefeld's lawn.
Yeah. If you guys don't know anything about Bob Layton, he is known to camp out on Rob Liefeld's lawn. He's the co-creator of Valiant Comics, which we just talked about. And he also wrote Demon in a Bottle from Iron Man, which is the most seminal story in Iron Man's history. He did help out a lot with Iron Man 1, 2, and 3, is the co-creator of War Machine and Scott Lang, Ant-Man, and Huntress, who we are seeing in the Detective Comics book. So definitely tune in for that. It's going to be a lot of fun talking to a comic book legend from the Bronze Age. He also did X Factor. He kickstarted X Factor, which is also really cool.
How about that?
Yeah, so you learn something new every day, Bryce. But
he had a really long run on Iron Man. Also, like
it was him and Michelini, wasn't it?
Yeah,
for a very, very long time. Yes, Armor Wars, Demon in a Bottle.
Right. And then Alex Sinclair will be on the channel June 19th, so coming up in a few weeks. Other than that, Hall of Fame, Hall of Shame returns on Monday. And then my schedule for the week goes as follows: Tuesday, Wednesday, I believe Wednesday, I'm on the, oh my gosh, I'm off Tuesday and Wednesday. I'm so used to doing a stream. Every single day to the top. Now that I have 2 days off, I'm ecstatic. Then Tag Team Thursday. On Thursday, I'll be talking about LGBT spotlighting DC Comics with their Pride one-shot coming out. So we're going to be talking about some of those characters as well. Kind of similar to what we talked about with the Xmen ones yesterday. So definitely go catch the rewind on that. I do have another show coming out that's going to be pre-recorded and edited called Catch Up On, where I spotlight a creator or a character and give some recommended readings on how you would get caught up with that. First episode is James Tynion, who we are talking about today. Nice. So other than that, wow, light week.
Very light week.
Plus, Bob
Can't say the same thing about my pull list, so.
Yeah, pull list is going to be a deal breaker. Dan, what do you have coming up?
We have Daredevil coming up.
Oh, yeah, that's a thing. We also have Daredevil coming up.
The end of Frank Miller's first run on Daredevil.
Yes.
It'll be a lot of ninjas. And that'll be on my channel. It'll be on a Saturday night. We'll figure out the time and everything when we get a little closer. Yeah.
There. John is joining us.
No. He's joining after Born Again.
Okay. So
Born Again later.
Okay, so
I was gonna ask to join on that one. Shoot.
No, you can join us.
Oh, sweet. I get to reread Born Again.
He's so happy.
Everybody's excited about Born Again.
Yeah, and it wasn't even my favorite.
Coming up later this month on the Ink Panels Graphic Novel Book Club, we're doing Genderqueer. That's Jennifer, Comics Will Break Your Heart's pick for Pride Month. And HK Wifey just read it, Sheena, and she really, really loved it, apparently. I haven't figured out a date yet, but we will be doing that on the Saturday as well. And Celluloid and Scotch. We're going to be defending Alita Battle Angel.
There you go.
For our movie stream.
I was going to say the movie or the
movie.
Okay.
And Bryce, what do you have coming up?
Well, I'm slowly getting back into YouTube. I just filmed a review last night for Daredevil Yellow. You know how much I've been
gushing over
proclaiming that book and gushing over it. So it's going to be really fun. I'm in the process of editing it, so hopefully I can have it up sometime this weekend. Boom. And yeah, other than that, I'm pretty active on IG, but overall I'm just trying to, take in as many great books as possible and just be involved in the community.
There you go, 100%. That's what it's all about at the end of the day. On your way out, hit that thumbs up button. Let us know what you thought of the show in the comment section below. It really does help us a long way if you do like and leave a comment. Yeah, it helps us out a long way. So if you do want to show your support for the channel, definitely hit that thumbs up. If you're not subbed up to any of these guys already, make sure you guys are. I forgot to put their links in the description, but I will do so at the end of the video, so you can definitely go do that as well. Or I'm sure you guys have seen them a lot of times. So you can just go back to the last weekly wrap-up video, the previous one, and just catch their links there as well. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the Hellfire Gala and our fits.
Woo, who's going streaking? Everybody's doing it.
Now I have a Polaris to get.
Now, poor Brandon doesn't get any of these